Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is Thursday. It is 9 o'clock, which means it's time for a Magic Stuff. And you know I mean business when I have a list. I have a list here. A few weeks ago, I did a video on Magic TV, and it was the 5 best Penn and Teller acts of all time. I've been asked to look at AGT and BGT and have another look at Penn and Teller Fool Us. That is all coming over the next few weeks, but today I am looking at BGT. I am looking at the top 6 acts, in my opinion, on BGT. I'm going to talk about why they are my top 6 acts and why they are my top 6 acts. We are currently on season 15 of Britain's Got Talent. There have been some amazing magicians over the last 15 years. There have been some that have not been shown in as good a light, if that kind of makes sense. But we've seen an absolute ton of magicians. And you know what? When I put this video together, I actually went through and I looked at all of the acts that auditioned on BGT. Wikipedia is my friend. I will say that it is impossible to do this list without annoying people. There are people that haven't made this list that I think are incredible. The Ben Harts and the Jamie Ravens of the world. You know, in an ideal world, they should have made this list because they are incredible and I love them to bits and I always will. However, this is just my personal opinion of the top 6 acts that I saw on BGT. So, you might agree with me, you might disagree with me, but I'm going to try and put over the case as to why these 6 are the best. So without further ado, let's get into the top 6 acts from the last 15 years of BGT. By the way, before I start, I just want to let you know that I'm not going to be including anyone that's on this season because obviously I haven't seen it through yet. At time of filming, NETRIX Illusions, Alex from NETRIX Illusions has just been on and done a great job. But I don't know if he's getting through to the semi-final, and if he does, I don't know what he's going to do on the semi-final. I also don't know who else is going to be on this season. I know there's an invisible guy called the Phantom. Beyond that, I don't know anyone else that's appearing on the programme, so it's very difficult to include this season. However, we are going to be looking at the previous 14 seasons, and in position number 6, I have Jasper Cherry. Now, I have been high on Jasper Cherry for a long time. I think Jasper is an incredible performer. When he went on BGT, he was 14 years old. 2 years later, at the age of 16, he entered the London Magic Convention competition, and frankly, I genuinely thought he should have won that. I thought he was absolutely incredible. Not that the other acts weren't, but I just thought Jasper was something really special. But yeah, I mean, the London Magic Convention performance was great, but Jasper did an awesome job on BGT. I absolutely loved his audition, Silk to Egg. It was so understated. It was so wonderful to see the confidence in a 14-year-old like that was wonderful. And he did Silk to Egg so well. I loved that he had that opening line of, you know, you're probably sick to death of seeing card tricks right now. That was a great line. And, you know, when the judges were like, hell yeah, it kind of put across what people need to be doing on BGT right now, yeah? But his audition was great. And the fact that he got to the final just shows everything that you need to know about this young man. He is going places over the coming years and months. I guarantee you that Jasper Cherry is going to be doing a great job. You know, he really is. His semi-final piece was brilliant. I love his use of technology. I love the use of the phone. I love the use of Ashley Banjo. The whole way that was all put together was brilliant. And you know what? I think that the final that he did was the weakest of the 3. Not that it wasn't good. It was good. But, I mean, you got to remember, he didn't have long to put that final piece together. And also, I didn't think it played to his strengths. I thought that there was other stuff that he could have done that played to his strengths more than what he did. Having said that, I thought that he was absolutely amazing. His semi-final piece was one of my favourite semi-final pieces that I've ever seen. And watching Silk to Egg done right by a 14-year-old kid was just super fun. I mean, he lit the place up. He really did. So yeah, and also the other thing with Jasper is he's very talented as a magician, and he's got a very understated performance style. You know, it's not like over the top or cheeky or anything like that, like other kid magicians that we'll talk about in a bit. It was very kind of understated, and it was very relaxed, and I think that that's perfect for Jasper's character. And it was great to see somebody doing so well that doesn't have that larger than life out there persona, but instead has a persona that's very clear and direct. I think that was great. Yeah, I love Jasper Cherry. I think he's amazing. 6th best act on BGT of all time, in my opinion. In 5th place, we have Magical Bones. I thought Magical Bones was great. I've interviewed him on this channel, and just like I've interviewed Jasper, actually. But I've interviewed Magical Bones on this channel, and I talk about the perfect audition. This is a man who came out and did the perfect audition. First of all, he had the incredible, and I mean the incredible, moment of where he went up to the judge's desk and he did the backflip and produced the card out of the air, which was awesome. And then he went up onto the stage and he did the stuff on the stage, and he did the bigger stuff, and that was really well as well. And that fusion of breakdancing and magic and illusion just worked really, really well. He was one of the acts that, in my opinion, could have won it. I had him pegged to win when he got through to the final, to be perfectly honest. I thought there was a very good chance he was going to win. He didn't, but he still did a really good job. I like a really good job. Like, there was not one moment in either the audition, the semi-final, or the final where I was like, oh, this isn't very good. The whole thing was great. He stayed true to his character. And I think that's something that we can learn from Magical Bones. He had this character all the way throughout. He had a narrative that linked every single piece. And from speaking to him on Talk Magic, I know that that was something that was pre-designed and something that he went into planning to do that. It was just really good. So yeah, Magical Bones, 5th best act of of BGT over the course of the history of BGT. I thought it was really good. Okay, so in 4th place now we've got 4th place, and in 4th place we have Aidan McCaan. Now Aidan is incredible. Just like Jasper, Aidan is someone I've got to know over the previous few months, mainly because Jasper and Aidan are friends, and Rylan became friends with Jasper and Aidan, so I got to get to know both of them. And Aidan's personality is infectious. He just makes me laugh. Every time I see him perform, he just makes me laugh from ear to ear. He's just so funny. He's just so cheeky. And you don't expect that out of somebody that little and that young. And you know what? Having got to know him off screen, if that kind of makes sense, he's not like that. He's so respectful and nice when you get to know him. And then he walks out on stage and he just lights up. And I think that's to do with the fact that he's an actor as well as a magician. So he's done TV shows, he's done films, he's obviously, his family are actors and actresses. He's grown up as an actor and as an actor, right? So I think that personality that shines through every time he performs comes from that background. And I think one thing that we can learn from watching Aidan is how good he is at presenting. He really is very engaging and very funny. And to be honest, half of the success he gets is from that infectious personality. Having said that, he's also got some skills when it comes to doing magic, right? Like, he did an incredible audition. Again, walked down to the judge's desk. I love the ring stuff he did. If you haven't seen his audition on BGT, go and check it out. He starts off by vanishing a ring and having it appear in a watch in a box, which is a Joel Miranda thing. And then he continues to make the ring disappear and does interlace, Richard Sanders interlace. Just an incredible audition. And then obviously in the semi-final, and the semi-final was difficult because obviously he was doing it over Zoom, or was doing it over a video call, and yet he was still able to really kind of drive home his personality, even though he was doing it over Zoom. And anybody who's done a virtual show over the last 2 years will tell you that it's very difficult to do that, and he bossed it out the water and then some. And, he did a Pro Mystic type thing, a color match type thing, which was really good. And then went into the final and had, he did a Wayne's Exchange stroke Cody Fisher's comedy book test style thing in the final, which again fits his character, fits his personality perfectly to a T. Just the whole thing was really good. The whole thing was really well done, really well scripted. And Aidan is great. And as I say, if there's one thing that we can learn from Aidan, it's about presentation and how important it is to be able to present things clearly and also do it in a very engaging, likable way. And even though he's cheeky, he's also really likable. I'll also say at this point that I know that there's going to be people watching this video and going, well, Craig's including a lot of kid magicians in this list, and I am, and there's more to come. And one of the reasons I'm including a lot of kid magicians is I absolutely love the fact that so many young magicians are stepping up to the plate right now. There's so many young magicians that are stepping up to the plate, and the future of magic is in safe hands. And I know after Blackpool, there were a contingent of people at the Blackpool Magic Convention that were talking about, I can't believe there's another kid on the gala show. Well, every single kid that was on that gala show deserved to be there and then some. That opening gala show with Izzy Simpson and Jasper Cherry and Aidan McCaan, that having them open the gala show was perfect. I thought it was just incredible. I really did. The future is in safe hands. And the kids that are coming through the ranks right now, and the kids that are making a name for themselves in the magic community, they are doing a great job. And it's one of the reasons I may be biased, because I am the father to a kid magician, not a BGT kid magician, but I'm the father to a kid magician. And so I know how much time and effort Ryland puts into practicing and performing and working hard on scripting and making sure his magic is as tight as possible. So, and I think that a lot of the kids, they put more effort in than a lot of the adults a lot of the time. That's why there's so many kids on this list. But anyway, let's look at number 3. Okay, so the third best act in BGT history, in my opinion, was David and Karen. David Penn and his partner, his magical partner, Karen. Now, I was working with World Magic Shop back in those days when David and Karen went on BGT, and so I was actually there in the audience for the audition. I was also there in the audience for the semi-final, and I also know what David was planning to do in the final, and I really wish he'd got there, because if he had, I think he would have blown the roof off the building. As it stands, he didn't. He got through to the semi-final, didn't get any further. But what he did in that semi-final and in that audition is something that no other magic act up until that point had done, which is to make magic cool on BGT. A lot of the time on BGT, up until the point that David and Karen went on, magic was treated as kind of a bit of a joke, and all right, it's the token magic act. It was kind of a token magic act, if you remember back in those days. It was like, this is the terrible magic act, this is a terrible magic act, this is a terrible magic act. Look, this one's not so bad. And David and Karen turned that on its head, and they made magic cool. And I think that they were the catalyst for magic being so popular on BGT. And I genuinely think if David and Karen hadn't done their thing back in the day, then we wouldn't be where we are right now. I think that they had an important part to play. Now, obviously, in years since then, Russ Stevens has had an incredible role in elevating magic on the program, and a really incredible role in making magic being taken seriously and elevating it as an art on this TV show. But David and Karen, they really opened up the doors at that point. They really did. Their opening audition was just amazing. I remember sitting in David Penn's house, watching him rehearse that again and again and again with Karen, and just watching. I know the amount of energy and time and effort that went into the rehearsals for that trick. I also know the amount of time and effort and energy that went into the rehearsals for the semi-final. And they did a great job, and David and Karen had awesome chemistry on stage together. It's a shame they no longer perform together. And David's obviously moved kind of away from the bigger scale illusions and more into the tech magic and, smaller scale illusions. But, you got to take your hat off for David Penn. You really have. You know, this is a man who knows how to reinvent himself over and over again. I've said it before, I'll say it again. David Benn is the Madonna of the Magic community. He really is. He just continues to reinvent himself. And what he did for BGT and what he did for the Magic community as a whole was nothing short of remarkable. It was an incredible act. And, you know, he deserved to go through to the final, in my opinion. Okay, so we've got one final, we've got two more, but we've got one final kid magician that's coming in at second place, and that is Izzy Simpson. So I'm giving Izzy Simpson second place, and the reason I'm giving Izzy Simpson second place, there's a few different reasons. One, I thought all three of her performances were fantastic. I genuinely thought she was going to win the whole thing. I really did. And each performance got better, in my opinion. I don't think that there was a weak point in any performance. I have watched Izzy's performances a million times, mainly because Ryland is obsessed with Izzy. I think he fancies her. And we'll watch it back again and again and again. The amount of times I've come in and seen Ryland on YouTube, just watching Izzy's performances back again. So I've seen them a million times. That audition piece was just amazing. It was amazing. And I know there were people back in the day when she first auditioned going, well, anyone can do that blackboard thing. Anyone can do that. No, you can't, because what she had is something that you can't buy. She just had that X factor. She had that incredible persona that is so difficult to pull off, where she's this 8-year-old girl. Bear that in mind for a minute. She's younger than Ryland is now, right? She's 8, and she's going out on national television in front of thousands of people at 8 years old, and she's taking control of every single judge on that table. And taking control, making sure that because there's a lot they have to do in that act. You know, go pick up the box, put the box down, you go and help, now you go and sit down. And she's taking control, but she's not doing it in a condescending way. She's not doing it in an obnoxious way. She's doing it in a way that's very, very funny, very, very engaging. There's a lot of scripting to remember there, and she delivered it absolutely flawlessly. And the whole presentation was just amazing. It was so good. It was one of my favourite auditions of all time ever. And then you have the semi-final, which was equally as good. You know, that prediction with the date on there. You know, you're predicting all the different stuff that the judges do, and then you've got the kicker of the final number being the date of today, which I think Alicia freely chose. And then you've got the opening, actually, to that semi-final. A lot of people forget the opening, but I love that whole concept of an older Izzy Simpson talking about what happened to her back when she was on the semi-finals of BGT, and you have the Dakota chair, and it goes from adult Izzy to kid Izzy. I mean, that's just a masterclass in performing. It's a masterclass in, you know, what works on a program like this. It really is. And then the final was amazing, you know, doing the snowstorm out in the audience with her brother, just the whole thing. And then obviously she came back on the champions, and that was really good as well. Everything that Izzy has done has been incredible. She opened a path for other kid magicians to do well on Britain's Got Talent. Just like I said that David and Karen opened the door for magic in general, and I really believe that, I equally believe that if it wasn't for Izzy Simpson, we wouldn't have the Jasper Cherries, we wouldn't have the Aidan McCaans, we wouldn't have all these amazing kid magicians that are now appearing on the TV show, because Izzy showed that at 8 years old, it is possible to not just go on an audition and do a good job, but you can go on and you can audition, you can do an incredible job. And no matter what Izzy continues to do in the weeks and months to come, and the years to come, and the decades to come, she should be absolutely proud of Punch of what she achieved on that show. Because honestly, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And it required a high level of rehearsal and scripting and skill. And I can only imagine how much rehearsal went into that. And then you have first place. And I went back and forth. It was very, very difficult to decide. And, you know, as I said to you, there's so many names that could have made this list. 4MG could have made this list. I'm big on Harry Nardi. I'm big on James Samuel. I really am. I'm big on all of that. Mark Spellman could have made this list a couple of times for X and for Mark Spellman. There's so many people that could have made this list. And I could have made this list 20 or 30 names long. But I had to decide on a winner. And the winner I decided on was Lance Corporal Richard Jones, the only person who has ever won Britain's Got Talent as a magician. Why is he the winner? Because he's just perfect, isn't he? You look at, I've worked with Richard a couple of times, and I've got to see him perform on stage. And it is so slick, and he is so professional. I remember when I worked with him in Thetford, and I just turned up with a box of tricks, and he was there and setting up all of this stuff. It was just amazing. Next level. Next level. But as well as that, he just looks like a magician, doesn't he? He just looks like he's the poster boy for magic. He's so respectful. He's so nice. He's a huge star, and yet he's nice to absolutely everybody. He's so talented. He's so engaging. He can do, a lot of people don't realise, but he can do comedy as well as he can do magic. I've seen him bring an audience to tears with funny lines and funny bits and pieces, but then he can literally switch it on a dime, and he can start being very serious and very laser focused and have the audience on the edge of the seat. And not many people can do that. I can't do that. When I go on stage, it's just one direction, which is comedy, 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 laugh, laugh, laugh. I can't switch between styles like Richard can. He does it so well. Like he really, really does. And every single act that he did was brilliant. His audition with 21st Century Phantom. What a clever idea of a routine to do as your opening routine. It's such a beautiful routine. And it's another example of not a card trick. Not a, not something that the judges have seen a million times. And not only was he an incredible performer on BGT, not only was each act absolutely brilliant, but there's so much we can learn from watching Richard Jones. First of all, the fact that he had a theme and he kept to that theme, the military illusionist, the military magician, he kept to that theme the entire way through. And he incorporated it into every single aspect of his performance, right, with the card sword and bringing out just everything, absolutely everything was just on point. And I think it's very important to understand your character going into a TV show like this, and making sure you stick to your character, and making sure that you are who you audition as is who you continue to be throughout the rest of the show. But the other thing about Richard is he's a great ambassador for magic, like he really is. Outside of BGT, since winning BGT, the stuff that he does at magic conventions, the stuff that he does on YouTube, the stuff he does on social media, he's an incredible ambassador. Like, look at it this way. NETRIX Illusions went out, Alex went out on BGT and smashed it completely on the Saturday night. On the Sunday night, Richard had organised an interview with him on his YouTube channel, just to help him promote himself a little bit more. The guy is an incredible ambassador. As much as he is an ambassador for the armed forces, he is an ambassador for magic as well. And we are all very lucky to have Richard Jones in the position he is in, because he's like the perfect magician. He's the sort of person that when you go out and you see him, he makes other people want to book magic. For their event. We're going to get more people wanting to book magic because of the impact that Richard Jones has on this country as a whole. So there you go, guys. That is another video in the bag, another magic stuff in the bag. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I want to know. I want to know what you think. Like I say, I feel bad for missing out Mark Spellman, Jamie Raven. The list goes on and on and on. I could have made a list miles long, to be honest. But I had to whittle it down to 6. And it took me so long to do this video because it was very difficult to whittle it down to 6. But I think these are my 6 that I'm happy with. And hopefully I've explained to you why I think that these 6 are the best. Now, you might disagree with me, you might agree with me, and that's absolutely fine. That's what I think. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? I want to know. And would you like me to see another one of these videos? I can do another one on AGT. I would love to do another one on AGT. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back tomorrow with a very special video. It's not a rant, but it's about things that are annoying me in the Magic community. So check out that tomorrow night. And don't forget, if you want to join the NETRIX, please do so. It's just www.thenetrix.com. You can get immediate access and see what all the fuss is about. We've just added 10 new routines, including a routine called Torso by Kyle Purnell, which is one of the best torn and restored cards I have ever seen. Anyway, I will see you again soon. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you have an amazing evening. My name's Craig from Magic TV.